Hey, slight technical difficulties. Be there in just a second. Just a second. Uh-huh. Getting there, guys. Getting there. Let me. Time lapse. No. Hold on. Almost there. There we go. All right. Almost got it. How's that? Oh, it's on. All right. That's me, right? Everybody see me? Let's get some light on here. All right. Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me? Hey, there's Jeff. Jeff knows what I'm going to talk about tonight. Mr. Ed's here. Joey, hey, what's up, man? Redfish, Lisa, Grayson, Keith, what's going on? Let some folks get going here. It's going to be a quick update. Hey there, Don. I'm just going to talk to you about what's going on because as I'm editing my next video, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm putting out there that we got some doom and gloom, and really don't. It's not a to-do video. I can tell you that. I tell you what, it's not for sure. Hey, Ben. Yeah, it's going to be quick, Jeff. I know you can hardly wait. I'm building you up for a whole lot of nothing that you and I talked about today. Hey, Jennifer, how's everybody doing? Anyway, just a quick discussion, guys, on what's happening here on the next video you're going to see. And I was working on it and looking at it. And hey, Michael, just wanted to do a quick talk, a quick discussion, what our status is over here, what we're seeing. Hey, Nathan from Texas. It's giving me a headache. Mr. Ed says his shirt's giving me a headache. Well, Mr. Ed, send me a shirt. How about that? What if I made a shirt? I was thinking about making a shirt, but the production didn't go well. We weren't very pleased with what we were getting. Actually, it was bad. And so now we're trying to design a shirt. We're trying to figure out who we can use to do it. So don't know if there's anybody out there that knows somebody close in Louisiana, but anyhow. So anyway, all right. So yeah, we got about what's average for an evening like this. And I wanted to come on now. I've been fighting my camera for the last 13 minutes. I just wanted to come on really quick for anybody that can catch this, and maybe they can catch the video later because I do have a video coming out again on Saturday. And Jimmy from Foley, hey Jimmy, and kind of give you an update before this video comes out because it looks and it sounds bad. And what I was doing when I was explaining it, and I need to get a map. I want to get a map and show you guys, but maybe I'll do a video on that. Hey, Melvin, what's going on up there in Michigan? Or Mel, I know you said you go by Mel. Terry, what's up there in the great north? But yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to give everybody an update, tell everybody what's going on. It's been on my mind editing that video that it just looks like it's rough, and it's really not too rough, but we got a very, very unusual season going on down here, folks. And I don't know if I could get the map. I thought I had a map, but I can show it on my phone. See if I can pull it up on my phone real quick. Oh, wow, 40 people. I was planning on a few less. Good. That's real good. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to pull up on my phone, but I'll try and explain it. Maybe I'll do a video on what's going on when the final outcome comes in. But anyway, everything's going good. Everything's going well. The bees are all doing as well as they can. They're kicking along. Swarm season has been very, very easy this year. Hey Kenny, what's going on up there? And it's been easy because of the situation with the nectar flow, but we've been doing very, very good with the swarms. Haven't had but a couple out of the hives. There's still more people gathering. But anyway, so everybody's doing good. All the bees are growing as well as they can be expected to grow. Not a lot I can do at this point. We're kind of at a turning point in the season, but I wanted to tell you what's going on in our world down here. So we had a major freeze about the middle of March, and this next video is going to come out, and it's going to sound like doom and gloom, and it's really not doom and gloom. I'm good. Everything's good. We do what we do with these bees. We keep bees, and we do the best we can, and we leave the rest up to what the Lord gives us, and that's just how that works. And so, what I'm going to explain is where we're sitting right now down here, and I'm curious, any of you guys that are in the South, like in the same parallel, what you guys are seeing as well, because what we saw down here was a major freeze, and it's strange. And so if you got Louisiana, I wish I had a map here, but if you got Louisiana and you go up to about the I'd say Macomb, Mississippi, or DeRidder, Louisiana line, if you go across and then you take it all the way down to Lake Maurepas and down around the Laplace area, and then go straight across underneath Baton Rouge, there's like a strip that runs through from Southwest Louisiana all the way over at least till into Mississippi, where the dirt rooster's at, because I talked to him and he verified this. But we had that freeze, and in that strip right there, our tallow trees were just getting out some very, very, very mild, real tender leaves at that point. And then we had a freeze. It was supposed to get to like 32, 31 degrees for a couple hours. It wound up going down to like 27 for like 2 hours, and it stayed below freezing for about 4 to 5 hours. Well, that strip in that area, south of us, south of that strip, the leaves seem to be doing pretty good. Hey, what's going on? It's raining in Mayo today. Yeah, I got you, man. But yeah, that rain came from here. We had it this morning. But nonetheless, south of there, the leaves were already to a point where they didn't freeze. And then everything north, of course, it froze. And I think further north of that strip, like where Grayson's at up in Alabama and up in that area, the leaves weren't yet out yet. And so they didn't freeze. So here in this strip, I'm talking to a lot of different beekeepers. I'm watching the Louisiana board. And what I'm seeing is from around DeRidder south over to Lake Charles, everybody is really sweating the nectar flow this year. Our main nectar flow is the tallow, plain and simple. Hey, Ed, what's up? Anyway, that is our flow. And right now, we don't even know if we're going to see that flow. Our privet is just kind of doing a little bit something. And so what you'll see in the next video, what I'm kind of trying to explain here is we have never been in this territory in my 10 years of beekeeping. Now, before that, maybe, but I've never seen the tallow where it has frozen and the leaves are just now coming out, and it's normally blooming in 2 weeks. Now, some of it did live, but our hives have suffered, and we're not seeing any growth. So I see, Don, you got the tulip poplar knocked out. Yeah, you didn't have a big freeze, just a cool night. I think it was 50s. Yeah, so over where Grayson's at, that's further over, a lot further east. So that strip, what it did was it wound up freezing out that tallow, and the blackberry was stopping at the same time, and it knocked all our flowering weeds and everything out. And we basically went through a 3-week dearth here in Southeast Louisiana at that time, and that doesn't happen here. We never see that. So it brought up a dilemma of feeding. Yeah, see, and dear Ed, you guys over there are doing good. It's just like it kind of stopped. It warmed up over in Florida. I know my friends over in Madison, Florida, Ponetta, Florida. I'm sure Dripping Comb Honey over there in Mayo, you guys didn't get the freeze we got. It was warmer. So I tell you right now, that freeze has really got some concerned beekeepers. I wrote to LSU Ag Center. They do videos on farming. I asked him to go out and talk to some of the commercial beekeepers and see what they're thinking. And he's going to try and do a video on that through the LSU Ag Center and see what they can figure out. But I tell you what, it's like nothing I've seen before. I don't think they're going to bloom. The leaves are coming back out on the tallows, but I don't think they're going to bloom. So, you guys are used to seeing me pull these nice big, I'm spoiled kind of guy, pulling all these nice big, harvests off and everything. And right now our bees have almost stopped growing, and in some cases have regressed. They're actually going further down. And so the next video you're going to see, I'm going to look a little frustrated maybe at the beginning and all that. And I kind of was. Gallberry's just now coming in. Joey Rawls is up in Franklinton, up north of here, and he's saying his privet's real spotty, and that privet right now should be building our bees up. So you say, well, then why don't we feed? Well, if we feed, what happens if we peak them out in 2 weeks feeding them, and then the tallow doesn't come? It's not a bad thing, I guess. I guess they could live off of that, but that's kind of where we're at. So when you see the video, I'm a little frustrated at the beginning, but I'm just trying to explain what you see, that it's not doom and gloom. Everything's going well. The bees are, they're as strong as they can be. They're all alive. Nobody's starving. I don't think we're going to have any problems with that, but just curious, what are you guys seeing up there and where you guys are at? Anybody in this area seeing anything? I wish I could have got a hold of Brad from over there. I know his tallow went out over there on near Ville Platte. I don't know, but you were around Douglas, Georgia yesterday, and the privet there was wide open strong. Yeah, and I was in Madison a couple of weeks back, going through there real quick, and Don, I'm gonna talk about that in a second, actually. But I know that in Madison, down at the junior college or whatever they call it now, North Florida College, they had tallow. I told my friend, move your bees down here immediately, man. They had tallow everywhere, but I don't sweat it because, like Don said, the Lord will provide. I don't sweat. He's provided every time. And I'm going to ask a question in my next video about the bees and what do they really know about what's going on. Because I tell you what, the way it panned out, we had a bumper crop last year. So, we can make it through. It'd be nice to pull off 100 gallons, and I'd be thrilled with that. But, average for me is 100, 150 gallons. That's a good average, solid year. A rough year might be 10, 15 gallons less of that. A bumper crop like last year was almost 100 gallons more. But it's going to be curious to see what we get this year. So Lisa says her tallow's blooming. She's over by Dothan. How's it been by Lee? Same thing by Lee, I'm pretty sure. I'd be curious to see. Oh, dang, Terry Haken's maple is just starting to bloom. My goodness, he's so far up there near Bemidji. Oh, he's in Bemidji. I think Lee, he has the same issue, but he's closer to water. And if they were irrigated very well, then the tallows might have made it. Anything near water, they seem to make it. And that's another thing. About 10% of the tallows are still going to bloom. We've got some, but will that support 40 hives in one spot? That's the question. So Arkansas Trapper, he's north of us. Yeah, I wish you could help us with that. Even my clover didn't come up like it normally does. Tupelo now, that's over the other way. And see, I see Edward Jacob on here. He's saying he's only caught one swarm so far this year. Again, I'm just not seeing swarms out of my colonies near like I, chased them before. So I just don't know. I really don't. Hey, Patrick, I'm doing good. How are you guys doing? Scott Cloakboard, because your video looks like a great solution for my small operation. I tell you what, Danny, that Cloakboard, it's very, very good. Very, very good. As far as the Tupelo, I don't know, man. I don't know. We don't have Tupelo here. I know they do down in Apalachicola, south of like where Lisa's at. We're on that chat site talking about elderberry bloom. It's funny you say elderberry too. The wild elderberry does put out some nectar, but not a lot. They say domesticated elderberry doesn't put out anything. So we got a lot of elderberry, wild elderberry. So I'm hoping that works out good. Yeah, a lot of people. That's another thing I saw. Lisa asking about swarms and people not seeing a lot of swarms. Sugar maples and now dandelions not blooming yet. Yeah, dandelions. I never knew how important dandelions were until I was up north for a spring in Minnesota, and it blew me away when I saw fields of those things. Now I understand what y'all are talking about when you say you needed dandelions. We get like 10 in a 5-acre field. That's it. Freeze got the TT bloom here in early March. Gallberry is just about to bloom here to give us some flow. That's Terry. I'm taking it you're near Florida, South Georgia, if you're talking about gallberry. Hey, from Pride. Tallow got froze there too. Yeah, and that's that strip I was talking about, Brian. It's just a strip. It's really weird. So So it looks like Mr. Ed saying tomorrow I'll be setting honey supers on all our yards because there are 10, 15 miles to Abbey. Hoping it'll look better than it does. And I hope so too, because it's just not a good thing. And you're right, God is good. He surely is. And so I don't worry about it. He provides. And again, it's not my living. I'm concerned about my buddy down the road. It's his living. He moved a bunch of hives south to kind of split them up and dilute them to where that 10% that is blooming, maybe they can split it up and still bring in enough. We don't know enough people south of the lake. South of the lake, they're doing fine. So the South Louisiana guys, you're going to hear a lot of good reports from them. I think the North guys, you're going to hear a lot of good reports because the tallow is going to come out on time. It's just that strip in the middle. You're going to have some tough years. Us too. A lot of elderberry in our woods. There's a lot of elderberry last year. That's Grayson. A question: you think Queen excluder entrance guard helps with swarming if used with? I don't know if used with the Demaree method, but I knew some people that do it, Patrick, with the just with regular hives. And what Patrick's asking is if a Queen excluder works for a good entrance guard to keep them from swarming. I don't know. I had one last year that I had under an excluder, and she got out. They swarmed. That's the same colony that swarmed into my tree. They're a swarming colony. So I don't know how that will work. Lisa and Jeff. That's Ed. And Lisa, so you said your tallows are about to bloom then. So I'm guessing then somewhere around Pensacola area or something is probably where it shut down, because I saw everything frozen in Alabama too. South Alabama, like just outside of Mobile. So he's up in central Kentucky and can't stop it swarming. I've been there, done that. I've started finding which colonies and started trending my colonies to see who's actually swarming more, and I'm tagging them as a swarmer, I'll be swarm, but I'm starting to finally realize that there are certain genetics that swarm a lot, and I'm done with that, chasing them constantly. So Terry, you're from only caught one swarm. Jennifer only caught one. Never did get the other group that were aggressively looking at traps. Yeah, same happened here. One swarm. Besides the very early one I caught before the freeze. So you're on months in Florida. Late bees, gallberries about to bloom last year so far. So you guys over in Florida are doing pretty good, except for some of the stuff. Yeah, putting that treatment on to stop swarming, that's an interesting tactic. And who did we see doing that? Was it Bob Benny doing that with some of the Apigar, because it shuts the queens down? Thought that was interesting. Yeah, Thomas Broussard, yours didn't work out. Yeah, we're getting privet here. And so what our privet does, it comes in, we always have a residual flow until the freeze hits. We have a blackberry, then we have a residual flow. Then our privet comes in. And when the privet comes in, that we can usually count on to build up our colonies. Well, last year we got no nectar off it. This year it's blooming, but it's very spotty. So it's not all out at one time. So they're picking it to pieces and they're not loading the colonies. So they're not growing. So the next thing to do is to get them to draw stuff out, is to feed them. Well, that means yanking all the supers I put on at the end of blackberry, thinking blackberry was going to finish, didn't know we were going to have a freeze. And so that's like 45 supers I got out right now that I got to pull off to feed the colonies and get them in the second deep. So I'm going to wait for the privet. And that's what you're going to hear a little bit in the video, is how I'm trying to just get them up. And I'm in a dilemma trying to figure out, what do I do? Like, do I feed them up? And if I do feed them up, what do I feed them up for, guys, if the tallow doesn't come? When I say the tallow is important to us, that is our flow. That is it. There is no other flow. No other flow. Yeah, and then look at Mr. Ed, 11 swarms. He's usually got 20 by now. Have two highs as supers. They're a third fill. That's great, Ed. I'm glad to hear that. And I'm hearing some other people. And see, here's a funny thing too. Let me tell you about our. I tell you another thing about our season. You guys up north see us getting into this season all the way in February, and you're like, wow, look at you guys. It's going to be a great season. Look how long, man, your season's long, all the honey. We don't actually even pull honey until, if we do get some from the privet, we don't pull it until you guys do up north at the end of May, or at the end of or beginning of May, and then we'll pull our main flow in July. So we just have 2 extra months of swarm control rather than pulling honey. So I saw some people up in Maryland today, Sawmill Charlie. He said he's got 2 supers each on some of his hives that are full of honey already. So yeah. Hey Craig, what's going on, man? Swarms, I try to catch every year. So I tell you, Russell, I believe the swarm genetics now. I really do. I just tracked out the three swarms, the two swarms that I had, I know of, and the other three that are building cells constantly. And when I finally trended them out and went back 2 years into my book and watched where they were all coming from, they were all coming from the same colony. Um, same colony. All the rest of them now have turned a corner trying to get into supers. And that one colony just continues to try and swarm. And it was funny because one I didn't think was from that same one. And I'm going to tell you what, I ended up looking at my book that night just going, where did this colony come from? I'm curious. Oh, it got a cell from that very same colony, a swarm cell from them. Put them in them. Guess what? I'm fighting them now. So everyone's getting a piece of tape. And what I'm going to do next year is as I buy cells out of Mississippi and graft from the cells I've previously gotten from Mississippi last 2 years, they're all going in. All right, see you later, Arkansas Trapper. Appreciate you stopping through. Hey, Charlie, what's going on, man? I was just talking about you. That you mentioned today, you've already got supers filling up. And here, we're down here, and we can't get supers full at all, just with the freeze that we had. So real interesting that we're actually out of nectar down here because we're so spoiled. We really are. So we're going to see what happens. Isn't very often I catch my swarms down and let them go because I don't want genetic. That's right, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the same thing. That it's to do with the genetics. I used to not think that. I used to think, well, all bee swarming is about how they manage their honey and their the type of bee they are, because Russians handle it different than Carniolans, handle it different than Italians, handle it different than Buckfast, and that's from reading some papers out of Auburn. But what I realized was after tracking them and seeing what's going on, I can seem to control the other ones a lot better with adding space to them than the ones that I'm continually fighting. And when I look back at the trend, and I'm going to trend them again through next year, every queen, I'm seeing the same ones swarming, the same ones causing me problems. And like I said, I traced one all the way back 2 years to as the same swarm hive. So I believe it. Yeah, I see you, Sawmill. Yeah, you guys are probably with you putting honey in supers already. I'm sure you guys are, man. You're probably seriously trying to keep ahead of those swarms because, man, to have 2 supers of honey means you guys are in a seriously uh, a decent flow with some good nutrition out there. And like Dr. Harris always said, man, that nutrition, that's what triggers them. You got Russian mutts. I had those for a while, Bryce. Same thing. Pro anchor, I have one small weak colony. Bees come out and fall on the ground. Looks like they're in pain. They spin like they're trying to fly. Then they die in about 5 minutes. Sometimes that can be pest control. I mean, pesticides. If you're near any row crops, I know neonics will do that to the bees. They'll get confused and they'll do that. Pro anchor. That's what I've read. The only other thing can be is a type of virus that's causing that. Something's definitely wrong with them though, and I'm sure you'll see a population dwindle. I would at least see if you got row crops around and who's planting at this point in time, because spring planting season you can get that neonic dust. But if that's not it, then the only other thing you do is kind of check your mite loads. Best I would do. So I don't want Brian. Let's see. Yeah, I tell you. Let's see. What did he say there? Got Russian. Hey, Brian, main foes not even started yet. Yeah, Charlie, you guys are blessed this year for sure. Hey, Keith, what's going on, man? Rainy foothills of North Carolina. Yeah, we just got all that rain. Came through this morning. Yeah. So anyway, it's got some good rain here today. Any suggestions to control black ants? Black ants usually, if they're the big carpenter ants, man, it's hard to control those things outside of chemical poisons. They don't react to any of the natural. I've tried the natural remedies, and those black carpenter ants are awful. Now, if they're black small sugar ants, I usually let the bees control them. I don't seem to have a problem with them, but that's here the way ours are. So that's the best suggestion is you're going to have to, figure out a way. Either that, or you have to move them if they're carpenter ants because they'll keep coming. But the bees have got to try and keep them out of there. Telescoping covers are bad for ants. If you're in an ant area, they get inside that cover really bad. So be careful with that. But I've tried to. The small ants I don't mess with. The big ants, it's hard to kill them. It's going to have to be a chemical of some sort because the natural remedies for me haven't worked. Yeah, there you go. So Bryce is saying he heard they don't like mints. So I definitely check that. After talking to see if it Knox. Oh, Knox Honey Farms. Oh, that's right down the road from you. I decided catching swarms led to bad genetics. John Knox and Mr. Werner. Yeah, I agree. I really do. I'm not bringing swarms into my yard anymore. That one I brought in the video will probably be the last. I'm going to start pushing my a certain queen around, and that's what I'm going to do. I agree with you on that. Oh, Brian, carpenter ants. Yeah, I really don't have man. There's no answer for those that I have found that works for me. The answer I know that will work, and you may not do it. I don't know how you feel about chemical pesticides, but I had to finally spray all down the tree line because they're opportunists. They won't try to go take over a colony. What they'll do is find empty spots around a colony and get all over. Strong colonies, you usually keep them out, but if you got inner covers, I had to take inner covers and replace the few that I have with migratory covers because they would get in those inner covers and lay all those eggs, and the bees would leave them alone. Now, they wouldn't go in the hive and mess with it because the hive was strong enough, the colony was strong enough, but man, they would get in that lid, and there was nothing I could do because you can't put poison in there, and cinnamon didn't work, and not with those big ants. So, excuse me, the best thing to do is try and get a migratory lid if that'll help you, and if not, you're gonna have to get away from them and spray or treat the ground or something. They're awful. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there's somebody that knows better than me on that for sure because I've experienced it, but I don't have much of a problem anymore now. I got rid of those telescoping lids. I'll put them on every now and then, and once the ants move in, I take them back off and put migratories on because sometimes I'll run out of migratories. Yeah. So your flow is crazy heavy. Yeah, and you're catching a bunch of swarms. I see, Keith. Lenham. Okay, so Dripping Cone over in Mayo. He's in Lafayette County. We call that Lafayette. Y'all call it Lafayette there in Florida. Eliminator granules from Walmart works great on them ants of all kinds, and the bees don't mess with it. I know the guy down in Broward County, Florida, after watching Bob Binney with, I forget his name now, they got that GrubX too that helps with grubs. There's a certain active ingredient that don't mess with bees. So maybe the active ingredient in that eliminator doesn't mess with bees. So yeah, there you go, Brian. Maybe you could, yeah, the Map Maze, man. I think you do what he says. Get the granules, eliminator granules from Walmart, and spread them out and keep them on the ground. And I would, if it was me, I'd make sure I put them out at night. All right, where are we at here? I'm going to try planting peppermint around my hives. Can't hurt. Yeah, cinnamon will work on the small ones. It doesn't work too well on the big ones. That's the only problem I see with it, Daisy's honey. But I mean, give it a shot. I tried it, and it works on the little ones pretty well. No swarms. I've heard that ants don't like cinnamon. I tried it when I had some ants in America. It worked good. Yeah, I agree, Grayson. The small ones, it seemed to work good on me, but for me, the carpenter ants, and I was under oak trees too, so that didn't help. Water oaks. Well, everybody's saying cinnamon, so give that a try too if you don't want to try the granules. Yeah, I tried that, Keith, last year trying to and Keith's talking about supers. You don't want to buy any more wood, so he's gonna try and pull and move and all that. Yeah, you're better off buying some wood. That like to kill me last year chasing honey. But I'm glad I did because now here we are with flow, and the whole reason I came on was to update you on that. The flow looks like it's going to be non-existent as far as what we're used to. But like Don and everybody else said, Lord will provide. I'm not going to sweat it. I'm just going to leave them here and see what they do. But yeah, get you some more boxes, Keith. Man, quit being tight. Yeah, everybody's saying try the similar. Or he said he tried eliminator. It didn't seem to help. Mr. Ed says he stomps. He stomps the bees. Yeah, I like to go out there and see stomping bees. Fortunately, I'm starting to like that idea of using Virgin Queens. Brings in new genetics, but they mate with your local drones. That's right. And that's what I've started doing. I've started releasing the virgins, or I go straight to just getting the cells. I'm telling you what, that's been so easy. In 2 weeks, you got to lay in queen if everything goes well. If it don't, I just recombine and I go back. Works really well. Yeah, so you got a couple of things to try: the cinnamon and the granules, the eliminator granules. He said he put it down really, really heavy, Brian. So I don't know what else we got here. Hey, everyone from Tennessee. Hey, Honeybee Live. I had to combine a hive. My queen fell on the ground. I picked her up and put her back in the hive, and then they balled her and killed her. I'm not sure what happened, but I had to combine them. Yeah, I've seen them do that where I injured a queen one time. I didn't just drop her though, so I don't know. Maybe she got squished a little bit somehow. I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah, the Grobex is for beetles, but what I was getting at with the Grobex, what I was saying with the Grobex is there's an active ingredient that the bees don't tend to be harmed by. So I'm thinking maybe that's the same with Eliminator. They got a certain active ingredient that doesn't mess with them. All right, so Bryce is saying borax for ants. There you go. You could give that a shot. But borax, be very careful with borax. Make sure you put it out at night or something, and you don't get it on the entrances. Big ants, cinnamon probably won't work. Yeah, that's the problem I have, Bryson. Grayson. Bryson. I was talking to Bryson. I'm talking to Grayson. Yeah, same thing. It was the big ones. It just didn't seem to bother them. The little ones, it seems to repel them pretty good, and you just reapply. Hey, Kaye, man, from way down the islands. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. 100 watch at 50. Hey, I appreciate you there. Hey, Jeff, for bees, I'm stomped out. You've been having some. You may have to just move them, Brian. I mean, in the end, especially if they're near any, like down here. I don't know exactly where you're at, but we have water oaks, and anywhere near those water oaks, once those ants find it, if they're that much of a nuisance, there's not a whole lot you can do. I just end up moving them. All right, so I think the cloak board's taking off there in Southern Alabama there, huh, Ed? Because it looks like you and Lisa both going to do this cloak board. I'm going to tell you, you're going to like it. And, man, I hope you get over there again, man. I had such a good time with you guys when we all went out to eat. Man, what a good evening. I had a good day that whole day. And I drove all night and before and the night after. But, man, I had a blast. It was worth it. Spilling half tracks. Well, we ended up getting a whole bunch of people on here. And what I was telling everybody was just updating everybody that the next video I put out is going to look like some doom and gloom, but it's not. And I don't want everybody to think that because I don't worry about it. I get frustrated sometimes, and I call Mr. Ed and I vent to him a little bit and bring him down with me a little bit, and then I move on and I keep on going. He encourages me, but I was just coming on to update you guys with the yard that everything is good when you see the next video, but it's just you can tell I'm a little bit on edge and a little bit frustrated, but I'm not worried. Everything is well. But I didn't want everybody to think doom and gloom before it comes out, and then you start commenting about how it's going to be good. I know it will be, but the way it came off when I'm editing it, it just didn't. I don't know. It didn't. As I'm editing, I'm like, man, I think I should have been a little more upbeat because things are good. My bees are fine. Everything's going good. So for you guys just joining us, that's what this was all about. But we got a lot of people on. So, and we're talking about ants and trying to kill ants. And got David from Brisbane, Australia. Good day. Good day to you, David. Yeah. And he, like he said, the cinnamon only works for a short time. Metal stand with legs and container with old engine oil. And it's funny, Kai, you say that. I watched D Good Honey down in Trinidad. Of course, that's way far south, way far south of you. But all his colonies, he does that with the metal stands and the oil, and he actually has shields as well. But ant-proof stands, yeah, that's another thing too, Brian. Is okay? Oh yeah, you got water oaks then, man. That's right. You did say you're in Pride. Yeah, you're near the water oaks most likely then, and there's just not a lot you can do. It's hard to make ant-proof stands down here, but I mean that might be your bet as far as if you got a lot of hives. But D Good does it in Trinidad, and you may just need to make oil traps at the bottom of your stands. if you can't move them. So you're over there by Mr. Gary. I see. What else we got going on? All right, so well, let me catch up and see what's happening here. Half tracks. I like them. Catch up better. That's what I used to put on. Yeah, you know what, Lisa, we do. We really do. I need to get over. I passed through there a couple weeks ago, not through Dothan, but I was passing on I-10 down by south of there, and I thought of you guys. 158. Tanglefoot. Don't know about that. Y'all hit the lines. Yeah, Bryce, you need to make the trip down here. Yeah, Bryce, come on down while it's warm, while it's still cold. Tanglefoot. Yeah, I never seen that. Yeah, Bryce would melt down here. Joey joined late. Hey Jeff, what's going on, man? Good to see you. We just updating everybody on our concern with these Southeast Louisiana beekeepers down here and what we're seeing as far as the nectar flow. That's all it was a quick update. On the next video I'll make, it's not doom and gloom, all is well. But I just didn't like I want to put the video out, but I didn't like how I sounded, like I was just really like in bad shape, and I'm not. We're doing great. The bees are growing, and like I told Mr. Ed just the other day, actually I think I told him that today too. Hey, you know what? We just raise the bees and do the best we can, and when we get to a point whether they bring in the nectar or not, there's nothing more we can do. All we can do is get them to where they're at. So about 4 weeks early there. Afraid the dearth will be extended, but the goldenrod already about a foot tall. It's going to be way early. Not sure. Yeah, Keith, man, you guys. Hey, look, Arkansas Trapper made it back in. I'm back. Afraid I missed some good info. You ain't missed anything. We're just goofing around, man. I'm watching. We're talking about ants, but hey, if there is any questions, shoot them out to me as far as what I do here. You know me. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you what I do. You know that. But no, we just chatting. You ain't missed anything. We're trying to figure out ants for Brian over in Pride. He's got carpenter ants going crazy. Yeah, Bryce, well, that's a long time. You need to come on down. We're all around here together. Joey, me, Mr. Ed. We can go over and see Bruce and Lisa and Son of One. We can go. We can all go over there. We're all, and Dirt Roots is in between us all. I wouldn't go to NOLA anymore. Good thing you used to go, because I wouldn't go there anymore. Not if I could help it. It's tough stuff down there these days. But, well, maybe we should plan that. Do a big get-together. So, what is Tanglefoot? Everybody keeps talking about Tanglefoot. Is it a poison? Is it a root, a plant? I'm trying to figure out what it is. Somebody explain what Tanglefoot is. Yeah, we could get Shawi. JP's keeping a low profile, man. You have to call him, Mr. Ed. Yeah, Russell, you're right, man. I believe you. So hopefully somebody's typing out what Tanglefoot is, so I don't have to figure out what it is. I'm not sure. It's glue stuff you put around trees. Huh. So maybe, well, you just have to be careful where you put it. Wouldn't put it in front of the hives, but if you could put it a line of it somewhere, who knows? That maybe it'll work. I don't know. World famous Mike Derry, Bruce Kaminsky. I sub your channel. Mr. Ed talks about you. Yeah, he talks about me, all right. Thanks for the sub, though. I appreciate it. Insect barrier, put it on the legs. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, okay. Sticky tar that you smear on the legs. Huh. That's interesting to know. I could put it around the blocks where they come up at. Because my stands are permanent. They stay there year round. JP, I did a cutout on Thursday or Tuesday. You said you didn't tell me about that, huh, Mr. Ed? You've been out there moonlighting with JP. I see what's going on. Uh-huh. So I didn't know that. Cat's out the bag. Yeah. So anyway, I'm Mike in Northeast Ohio. No, you know what, Lisa? I haven't done my one cutout. I haven't. Hello from West Texas. Hey man, what's going on? Queen's Best Bees. Yeah, I haven't done my one cutout. I went ahead and considered that one cutout I did at the end of December, and it worked its way into January. I'm gonna consider that my cutout, and maybe I'll plan one for next year. Um, I don't know. I don't go looking for them, I guess. And I get calls, and when I get calls, I call Mr. Ed, and we schedule to do one. That's kind of how it works. Because if it's a friend or family or somebody I know that needs help, then I'll go do it. Now you tell me I can't count the New Year's one? That's cheating. Well, I mean, you do a lot of moves, and our bees are super aggressive. Yeah, not me. I don't like them. So Mr. Ed's saying he's got one lined up for us. So maybe we can do one. Won't you come over and do it with us? How about that, Lisa? If you're going to tell me that don't count, you come over and help us. Honey, hello. I enjoy your incubator video. Yeah. No, I haven't done one, so tell me when we're going to do it, and I guess we'll shoot a video and try and do one. You got to remember, I don't have a cameraman like Mr. Ed does, so. I'm going to be at the Bee Convention in Conroe, Texas. You know, I wasn't thinking about going, but then I saw the other day on Facebook, they got this keynote speaker, some guy with a gray beard. He's kind of loud and he laughs a lot. And I'm thinking I might go over there. Actually, I meant to mention that on the phone today. I saw his picture on that. Maybe I will. That's Conroe's only 4 hours from here. About 4, but maybe 5. Maybe 5. Yeah, Charlie's a good cameraman. Charlie's good people, man. Charlie's the best. You know, Mr. Ed has to have somebody class him up a little bit. So, anywho, I don't want to stay out here all night long. Oh man, we're already 45 minutes doing this, and all I was going to do is update you guys. Hey, Michael, what's going on? Yeah, but anyway, so the next thing what we're doing here right now is he's speaking at Mona and visiting kids. Yeah, good information always. Yeah, thanks a lot for joining us. It was a great time. So the next thing we're going to be doing right now, I hadn't been shooting a lot of video, just went out there and I tip up hives this time of year. At this point in the year, I don't even inspect anymore. I just flip the hive up and see if I got swarm cells. That second deep, I look. If I don't see any, put it down, I put the supers back on and move on. If we had honey coming in, which we don't, which we usually do by this time, all I would be doing is cracking the lids and seeing how much honey's in there, because once they're putting honey in, they're not going to swarm normally. But so the videos, I'm sure they're going to get a little more boring as we go, because there's just not a lot going on. But they may not be boring since we don't have any nectar coming in. It might make for some interesting stuff, because I don't know if I'm going to have to actually feed this year. And you rarely see me feed because we rarely need to. But, you know, Cowboy lights. Yeah, I keep telling you how to keep bees. You ain't putting that on me. No, sirree. No. So yeah, we're gonna be just basically placing supers right now. Yeah, probably shouldn't even done inspections yet. Bees can walk through it, but ants won't touch it, huh? That's interesting. But yeah, so what we'll be doing next, guys, is we're gonna be just flipping boxes up, doing some miscellaneous tasks with some of the smaller colonies, maybe doing some updates. I want to update, see how Rodney's little swarm is doing. I'm telling you, that is the smallest swarm I've ever seen. I caught one that was small, but it was a little bigger than that. And I talked to him the other day. He said they're taking plenty of syrup. So I guess they're growing. I don't know. We're going to have to go check it out and see what's going on, but I'll have to shoot a video on that. So hopefully we can get over there and get that going, get some footage on that. Swarm season is pretty much kaput here. Mr. Ed says he's got a don't even put that on me, Keith. I'm saying that's what I do. You know that. But he says he's got a cutout for us. Maybe I could do a cutout video. But unless we start getting some nectar in, I don't know what else to shoot video-wise. And that's probably another thing I need to let y'all know is we're going to just do little bits, which will probably be a break for you guys. So you don't have to look at 25-minute videos anymore. Yeah, I saw what you did there. I saw what you did, Keith. So, So what's going? Hey, you guys got any questions whatsoever before we move on and let y'all get freed up for the evening? Because I don't want to hold you up long just mumbling and jumbling. If you guys got anything, let me know. And you just got here. Did you already talk about the tallow? Did it come back? No, Michael, it didn't. The leaves have just started coming. I guess the leaves have been out now about a week and a half, 2 weeks. One swimmer's for the flood on the swimmer. He's right, Brian. So the tallow has come back out. The leaves have. The tallow, the few trees. So I said 10%, probably 5% of the trees may have made it, and they're very sporadic. They have their blooms ready to pop. But the ones that froze, the leaves have not come back except for just very, very tender, small leaves. I just looked at them today, and they're very tiny. I honestly don't see that. I don't see that they're going to put out any blooms. I mean, I can't see how, because the tips have all broken and frozen off and have died on the trees. So, yeah, the leaves are starting to come back, and I say in another 3 weeks, we'll see 3 to 4 weeks, we'll see some good, robust leaves on there. But 3 to 4 weeks is when the other tallow is midstream, rolling hard. So will it bloom? I don't know. Any horticulturists in the house can tell us. I don't know. All right, Arkansas Trapper, I appreciate it. We're about to end here anyway, man. I was just, again, seeing if anybody had any questions before we rolled out. But, yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know how it's going to pan out. I guess this is my fourth season doing YouTube, and I don't know. Hey, Melissa, have you ever had to patrol the ground, walk around on the ground in front of a hive? I get 10 to 15. Yes, I see that pretty regular, actually. I see that. I don't know what they're doing down there. A lot of them are just hanging out. I think what those are sometimes are bees that are just about to die soon, that can't get back in the colony, or or they get kicked out because they're on their last breath. So I think that's what that is, Melissa. Honestly, I don't think there's a problem with them for sure, but as they're foraging so hard and they're dying, some of them will die coming back, some of them will die in the hive, but I think those are ones that are dying off at that point in time. Yeah, Brian, I agree with you. Yeah, LSU is working on it. You can't kill tallow. The tallow is not dead, that's for sure. Not saying it's dead, but it's definitely struggling when it froze the foliage off. And of course, the reason I say I don't know if it'll bloom or not, and if there's any horticulturist type people out there may know, is right now the tree is just trying to do what it has to do to survive, and that's those secondary nodes that are coming out and blooming out leaves. Will it get into the reproduction mode this late, knowing it's just trying to survive? I don't think they do. I mean, not that trees think it out, but they have certain modes that they do, and I think they have a survival mode. I just don't see it. Maybe they will, but we'll see. So it's going to hurt a lot of the southern beekeepers I talked to. And I don't know if you guys ever subscribe to this guy's channel. His name is Jake Moore. You can look him up, Jake Moore. He's an East Texas commercial beekeeper. Cool, man. His splits he did were amazing how they did them. Guys, go check him out if you can. But he's in East Texas. He had some in Beaumont, which is near Conroe, where everybody's going. And he said his tallow is looking good. It's not too far from blooming, and they didn't take a hard freeze over there. So it stopped around probably Lafayette over to Lake Charles and there somewhere. And I guess everybody west over toward Beaumont seemed to be doing good. Yeah, I had some checking out my barn yesterday, DCs. Hey, hope to see everyone in my chat Friday. All right, Sawmill. I guess you're going to have Brad on there again. He's becoming a regular, I think. I like old Brad. Trying to get Mr. Ed and Dirt Rooster, too. I think the whole bunch should come on over to Apple Farms. San Antonio. Oh, yeah, we'll keep on posting, Bryce. It's just going to be, I don't know what I'm going to post. Because I don't have to keep bees much now. I'm going to have to feed them. But we keep them alive. We've got them in there. They're not starving. But I don't know what we're going to do if we don't have a whole lot to do with honey this year. Thanks for stopping by, Charlie, by the way, if you're still listening. Have traction honeybees. Hey, Bruce, what's going on? The tallow is not bouncing back very well, Bruce. It's pretty bad. And that's what I came on to do. Is I was telling everybody my next video is going to sound like I'm bumming out and everything, but I'm not. I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm not sweating it. But it's very unusual, and I'm frustrated a little bit sometimes with it. But it's you know, that's our main flow. And talking to Lisa, you guys are doing fine over there, it sounds like. But over here, probably about the Mobile area going into Mississippi, um, it's all frozen. Now, next to the interstates, it looks beautiful. And next to the big lakes down here, it looks beautiful. But anywhere else, it's all frozen out on that little belt. And I'm going to do a video with the map once we see what it does and show you where we saw the freezing. What I'm hearing from beekeepers in Louisiana, because I'm keeping in touch with a few in central and in south and west. And that's what we're seeing is a freeze out that's going to hit some people pretty hard if it doesn't come in, because that is our only flow. That's it. There's nothing else. You know, outside of some wild elderberry, but that's not going to load the boxes, I don't think, at all. So yeah, that's where we stand, Bruce. So we're back on the Ed's talking about the Tanglefoot. Man, I was just getting ready to leave, but there's people joining us now. Brian. Hey, Brian Lee. Is Brian Lee on here? Oh, here you are. Hey, Brian. What's going on? I met Brian for the first time in person at Hive Life, Alabama. Beekeepers, man. Y'all are strong. Yeah, I saw. Hey, Charlie, I don't know if you're still on here. I did see that. I seen him when he was commenting. Yeah, I was on there. I just watch. I kind of do like he does and listen to things in the background. Well, that's good, Bruce. I mean, I'm glad you guys are getting some, because if we don't get some, I don't know. I just don't know. Question: if I'm going to use a dead out deep with comb honey as a trap target, comb and honey, should I still use swarm spray? I would if you got it. If I got swarm spray, I'm going to put a squirt in there and one on the entrance. It's same if I don't have swarm spray, even though I got comb in there, DCs, I'm going to go ahead and use lemongrass. I'm going to still use one of the baits. Personally, that's what I do. You know me. I'm not going to tell you that's what to do, but that's what I do. And it's been successful. It's just kind of like insurance to me, so that I think the lemony stuff just draws them in, or at least they smell it a little easier going by. I don't know. That's just me saying that. There's no proof of that, but I would still spray it, even just one shot, which is all you really need anyway. Yeah, Brian, you're right. What kind of biological controls really worked out good? Thus the Nutria rat, a few other things too. The new mite coming into town. Tell us about it, Gallery Lights. I don't know about a new mite. I think I've heard something. Primetime Mike. I don't know about that. Yeah, I tell you, Tar Heel, maybe I will. I just wanted to update the video because I'm editing it and I saw it and I said, let me go live real quick, see who all comes on, and we'll just talk about it. And that was the only reason I did it. Lambert just plants the spinach. Prime time. That's funny. So you guys have got the privet going now, probably. Tulip pop. I heard that was coming out. Yeah. Ooh, blackberry. Yeah, we had our blackberry early. Yeah, Brian, but I think you're up north, huh? You're not down like with Bruce and them. You're further closer to Birmingham, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember right. Roll Tide my foot. Anyway. I think there's some spam on here. It said something about Roll Tide. I think that's spam. Nothing breaking. Ian came on the bill for a night. Redfish. Man, roll. Hey, Bruce, the reason I do that because I don't like liabilities. So I don't tell anybody anything. But really, I don't feel comfortable telling people. I'm just, this is my 11th year we're going into. And 10 years is a good amount of time. I got to think another day of keeping bees, but I still don't. I just repeat stuff I read and all. So I guess that's maybe why I don't get into how to. And also know there's so many regions, so many ways to do it. So few absolutes in beekeeping that I don't ever like to say this is how to. I just like to show people what I do and what has worked and what hasn't worked for me. That's where that slogan came from. My earliest video I ever did before I even started the YouTube channel, I did a video for a friend and I said that, and it stuck with me. Trucking yard with a truckload of beehives sitting on the ground within a mile. Want to get some traps out ASAP. Yeah. Be careful now. There is some DCs. You got to be careful with that. Some people, depending on how you do it, they can get a little upset. All right, see you, Grayson. Appreciate you stopping by. Shoal Creek. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know where Shoal Creek's at. Oh, so you're up there. Yeah, I know where you're at. Exactly where you're at. It rained out here. Man, that's too bad. Yeah. Questions. Swarm while sitting in a truck yard. They may as well. They can't get upset if traps on. No, that's right. You're right. I agree with you. It's just one of those things sometimes, like, depending on where you're at, like if it's a commercial yard, I know that they can frown on sometimes, but most of them don't really care. But I just know that I've seen talk of some people getting upset. So if they're on your property, nothing they can do. You're right. Exactly. I agree 100%. But be careful what you're catching too, Don't you want to be careful. We were talking about it earlier, the genes and the swarming genetics and all that stuff. I'm seeing it and I'm tracking it now. Yeah, I'm getting ready. Hey, thanks for stopping, Mr. Ed. I'll talk to you this week again. We'll talk more about what's going on. You got to tell me about these adventures you're on. Yeah. Yeah, Jeff's been, he and I have been talking back and forth and comparing what's going on at the Abbey versus what's going, and I'm 20 minutes from Jeff. So, I mean, but the difference in what he's got growing over there near the water, plus the Abbey's just a blessed place. I mean, it really is. It just is that way. But my property's blessed too, so I'm not going to worry about that. But we just been comparing the last few days, and we got a big video we're kind of planning together, and that's going to be fun. And now he's telling me he's got a cutout possibly. So, yeah, Don, Mr. Ed, he can't go long, man. He's and he can't go too deep in the country either. He gets nervous when he goes too deep in the country. So we don't try to get him out too deep with these cutouts. I took him to one that was almost 50 miles from the Abbey, and he got nervous, real nervous. So we try not to bring him out too far. So anyway, well, all right, guys. Look, just to recap, I just wanted to let you know when you see that video, I've been putting them out on Saturdays now, trying to keep a kind of a regular schedule with them. I'll throw one out on Wednesday every now and then, but just want to let you guys know, when you see it, the recap is this. It's all is well with me. Everything is fine with my bees. My bees are doing fine, but I just sounded to me, it as I was editing, it just looked like I don't know, I just was down on the whole thing, and I'm not. It was just, I'm thinking about it. I'm concerned about it, but I'm not concerned to the point where I'm worried about it. It's just one of those things where we keep the bees the best we can. We get them where they're at, and we do what we can do. And when they make honey, they make honey. They don't, they don't. We're not used to them not making honey. But again, hey, I'm talking back and forth to different beekeepers. We're comparing everything in this area and throughout Louisiana, and it's just looking kind of rough right now. And I think everybody's a little bit concerned. So when you see the video, all's well. I'm happy. We're good. And, hey, we're going to get it all put out here on Saturday and keep on shooting. We'll see what we can come up with. And, hey, yeah, you're right, Jeff. It has its ups and downs. All right, guys. Well, look, dang, I want to get off here by 7 because I know Bob and them usually get their stuff going this time. I see Bob just popped on there. So I wanted to get on at 6. I wanted to beat everybody, so I don't want to walk on anybody's. I checked for premieres. I made sure nobody was doing a premiere. I tried to get in here before Bob and them start on. I think they still start on Thursday night. I saw them just recently on Thursday night. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I appreciate all you guys stopping through. I appreciate all the great comments here, y'all. I appreciate all these chat comments I'm seeing right now. It's a pleasure doing the videos for you guys. I have fun doing the videos for you guys. It's gotten to the point where if I'm out there doing something and I don't have my camera, I'm like, oh man, I need my camera. They would want to see this. And so that's kind of where I'm at. But hey, you guys have a great evening, man. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off of here. Appreciate you stopping by. Look forward to the next video coming out on Saturday, and look forward to all you guys' videos. I'm trying to keep up with everybody's. I'm 2 weeks behind on videos, guys. So I'm still there. And, hey, we'll see you on the next one, all right? Y'all have a great evening, man. God bless every one of you. See you later.